Hello, hello! Can you hear me? Welcome to today's stream. Welcome. Or I guess I should say today's second stream, since I was live earlier as well. But welcome back to heisei, babtro. Welcome. I'm very excited for today's episode. Alright, so welcome again to heisei, babtro, my podcast where we yap about our favorite media from Japan's heisei era. The heisei era spanned from 1989 to 2019, which is a super wide range of time, but in regards to pop culture can be characterized by rapid technological advancements, the rising popularity of anime and Japanese video games, both in Japan and overseas, and what many consider to be the golden age of places like Akihabara and Harajuku. But today, I am going to be joined by Glemily to yap all about babymetal. Second stream of the day, yippee. Yippee indeed. Oh my gosh. Let's go ahead and see if she is ready to get started. Alright, I'm gonna undeafen myself. Alright, hello, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Alright. Hello, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Glemily, or GL Emily. My name is Emily. I am a babymetal fan for many years. I've got a fun story about my journey as a babymetal fan.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, hi chat. I'm lurking in chat. I see you all.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello. Basically, I'll just go ahead and just start telling my story.
Yeah,
basically,
go ahead.
it all started, like many things start for girls my age, on YouTube. So we all remember what YouTube was like in the early 2010s, early mid 2010s. Lots of things going viral.
Yeah.
And I forget what year it was, 2014 maybe. 2014, I was 12 years old. On YouTube, watching one of my favorite YouTube channels, React.
Oh my gosh,
you know, the Fine Bros,
Yes.
you know, Reactgate, copywriting React. That's really epic of them.
Oh my god.
I digress. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the sub. Thank you, Ashbury Street.
Oh my gosh, Ashbury. Thank you.
Big preach. Let's go. Putting that in the chat.
Yippee.
Yeah, so I was on YouTube as my typical after-school hobby, watching many YouTube channels, including the React Brothers, and one day they did an episode on YouTubers react to babymetal.
Yeah.
So now I'm a big fan, or at least I was a really big fan of Smosh, and I knew who Pentatonics were, and who else was in that video? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. But basically, that was my first exposure to babymetal. All right, in 2014, but it didn't really stick with me. You know, it was just kind of I'm seeing them. They're in my periphery now. Cool. I was still 12, right? I had other priorities, like whatever, Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft.
Oh my gosh,
those were my
same.
priorities, okay? That's what I was mainly focused on at that age, and also my math homework.
Of course.
And then 2 years later, babymetal dropped what was their second album, and they were doing promotion in the United States, so they came to Los Angeles and did babymetal reacts to YouTubers react to babymetal. So
that was crazy. I remember being mind blown that they were on React.
So that was awesome. That was so awesome. reactception is always really fun to me. I mean, I watch Twitch streamers, so that's basically watching people react to other things. So that
true.
babymetal reacts to YouTubers react to babymetal was kind of my bread and butter. That was really that was life-changing, low-key. So that seeing not only my favorite YouTubers see them like Smosh in this video, they're like, oh, it's babymetal, let's go. And I was like, okay, like, sorry if I'm not allowed to use strong language, but I was like,
no
Smosh fucks with babymetal. I was like, that's sick. Like, they fuck with babymetal, I'll fuck with babymetal. And also, once again, 2014, I was 12 years old. 2016, I was 14. And the members at that time of babymetal were all like a year, like two to 3-ish years older than me. So that was really like formative for me because as a kid, I was very much like a huge tomboy. Like I didn't like being perceived as, you know, feminine or whatever. Like I had a whole thing going on. But seeing them being these crazy, like, they were super cute, but they were super kick-ass.
Yeah.
And that was really like, oh, I didn't know a person could be like that, you know? So as I wanted to, you know, grow up and figure out who I wanted to be and how I wanted to be perceived in the world, seeing them like that was very cool. And then also, another thing is that I just love dancing. So if you guys check out my YouTube channel, it's Glemily418 or Glemily.418. I don't know. I'm Glemily on YouTube.
Definitely check out your channel.
So as a kid, every year for the holidays, my grandma would gift me and my sister the newest Just Dance on the Wii.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So that was one of my favorite things to do, was play Just Dance and watch all the dances on my TV and emulate them. So naturally, when I started watching babymetal dance all the okay, let me rewind. So babymetal, for those of you who don't know, is a trio of now young women who sing and dance like J-pop idols to heavy metal music. So their songs, especially their first album dropped in, let me see what year it was. I have all my sources pulled up. They debuted in 2010, I believe.
Yeah, 2010.
And then they released their debut album, their self-titled debut album, in 2014. So that was when that first YouTubers React video came out, in 2014, when that album dropped. So at the time, like I said, the members are 3 years-ish older than me. The oldest member, her name is Sue Metal. She was born in 1997. And then the next youngest members at the time were Yui Metal and Moa Metal, who were born in 1999. And they have a new member who came into fruition in 2023, and she was born like a year after me in 2003. So they're all my age. So seeing them blowing up online as these cute, like, little girls at the time when they started, cute girls who were doing heavy metal, and there was all these like corpse paint people in the audience and like mosh pit, and one of the, I forget which, whatever, there's a song called Road of Resistance, and it's the song that they perform for all of their final songs in all of their shows, except for when they do like an encore special song or whatever. Road of Resistance, in the music video, Sue Metal's on stage and she signals for the audience to do a wall of death, which is when the whole audience parts like the Red Sea. So that was my first exposure to a lot of the metal scene, as well as the J-pop scene, but heavily emphasis on the metal scene. I'd never seen like a wall of death before. So that was really cool. So they dominate the stage. They're super cute. The music is kick ass. So it's just, it's a good time. It's really cool to be a fan of it.
Yeah.
So I forget where I was in my story.
Yeah. No, so, kind of along what you were talking about, I'd love to hear, actually, your perspectives. You talked about liking dancing. You can give a little bit of your thoughts on their choreographies. Like, do you have a favorite babymetal choreography?
Oh, I have a lot of favorites. So on my YouTube channel, I actually made a video ranking every single babymetal choreography.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's a little outdated because there's a whole new album that came out since the video came out with new choreography. But so my dance journey within babymetal, I'll answer your question about my favorites later, but I want to
of course,
with the dance, I think in 2016 when they did the babymetal reacts to YouTubers react to babymetal, I don't know, I think seeing them reacting to other people reacting to their choreography and mimicking their choreography, I was like, oh, like doing the choreography, I could do that. And then I would watch their videos of Megitsune and Gimme Chocolate. Those were the two that I learned, I think, in 2016. So that was like right as I was like finishing middle school, going into high school. I learned those two dances, and they're pretty hardcore. They're pretty kick-ass. There's a lot of jumping involved and a lot of fast movements. But me being, 13 or whatever, it was not that big of a deal for me. Like, it was a lot of fun to learn how to do. And like I said, I played Just Dance growing up. So those skills of watching the screen and just copying what's on the screen made it easy for me to learn. So I have since learned a lot more than just those two songs. I know many songs, so many songs that I made a random play dance for myself to do.
Wow.
Yeah, because I got into K-pop in college, and so let's go. Like so that was like my initiation with babymetal. And then after 2016, like when I got into high school, I dove into the musical theater world. So I like stopped being tapped into what was going on with babymetal. I was just doing musical theater and learning all the dances for like Hamilton and In the Heights and Heathers or whatever else. But then I got my driver's license. And when I'm such a loser, guys. When I started driving in high school, I made a playlist of the worst songs to drive to, or the most like cringe and embarrassing songs to drive to. Okay, and they were not at the top of the list, right? But they eventually got put into that playlist. And then I started ironically like listening to their music when I was driving, and then I started unironically listening to their music. So they were right up there between, I think I made a joke about it in one of my YouTube videos, that they're like right in between Ram Ranch and some sort of Minecraft parody or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Or Alvin and the Chipmunks. So that was the playlist that they were put on. And
That
then
was an amazing playlist.
yeah, but then I sort of got away from I'm not going to say I got away from it because it's still haunts me sometimes. And by haunts me, I mean I enjoy it unironically. But yeah, so I started listening to them again in like late 2019, and then 2020 happened. And in case listeners weren't there for 2020 for some reason, there was a giant pandemic, which really sucked a lot. It was not a good time. And I was a class of 2020. I didn't get a graduation, guys. This is everyone cry for me in chat. Yeah, this is very real and very heartbreaking. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, chat. So basically, I went to college in late 2020 for the fall. And I was basically locked in my dorm room like a hamster in a cage. So dancing, and especially dancing to baby metal, was my version of running on a hamster wheel. So because like, what was I gonna do? Go join a club in the pandemic? Like, no, I was too busy focusing on, trying to deal with my major and dealing with all that and working and stuff. So I didn't really like know how to do social stuff. And with COVID, it was really hard. So I was just in my dorm room all the time, and I needed exercise. And the gym that was right next to my dorm room, to my dorm building, was shut down so that it could be a COVID testing site. So I couldn't even use the gym. So I did a lot of watching baby metal performances, and then learning the dances just by watching it on loop. So that became a skill that I was really good at starting in my freshman year of college. And like I said, I was spending a lot of time in my room, hamster wheel, learning a lot of dances. So I would just listen to their music and, I like this song. I wonder what it looks like when they perform it. And it's really interesting to me because a lot of people just listen to music just for listening to it. So to add that visual element of dance was very captivating to me, and it added a new layer of enjoyment for me because I could not only listen to the music and appreciate the music, but I could understand how that music was translated into a visual artistic mediums like dance. So because I know that there's a lot of baby metal fans out there who listen to it because of all of the cool instruments that they use, and the different musicians and guitarists and people in the Kami band. The Kami band is the backing band that kind of wears masks, and they aren't really acknowledged because they're like not part of the lore or whatever. Baby metal has some lore, guys, and I don't know any of it. The lore goes so hard that I've lost the plot. Like,
I remember because I have the graphic novel that they put out. Like, it's about their lore. Like, I
have it too.
What's going on in that? It's so
I have
weird.
it too. I haven't actually made the time to read it, but once my master's degree is done in baby metalology, of course. Once it's done, I'll be able to fully dedicate myself to expanding my brain on all things baby metal. But I only have, I'm like, okay, I would say on a ranking from 1 to 10 on baby metal knowledge, I'd say I'm like a good 7.5. Like I be knowing a lot of stuff about baby metal. Love me some baby metal. But there are some people out there who you can show like a photo of like just a dance from a performance, and they will tell you what dance it is and what day it was performed and in what country at which music venue. And
oh my gosh, yeah. I used to almost be like that when I was younger. I was very hardcore. I'm still a big fan, but I'm not as intense as I was in the past. When I look back at past me, I was like, wow. Why were you like that?
That was me, unfortunately. That was me about like hurricanes and stuff. So what I studied in college was like weather, and that's what I'm doing right now for my master's degree. So I was very big on like knowing all of the hurricanes. So I can understand how somebody is that interested in all the details about every babymetal performance. Not me though. I just like learning the dances and looking at them.
Yes.
And listening to the music. So oh shit. Sorry. I brought out my sake for tonight to get, because it's a special occasion. Yeah. It's a bottle that I got. I visited Japan for the very first time in January, and it was you guessed it, to see babymetal. That's why I went.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to ask you about what it's like seeing them perform in Japan. Because I've only seen them once here in the US. So...
Oh, we gotta pump those numbers.
Difference between... Oh?
Okay, so I said we gotta pump those numbers up. We gotta get you to more shows.
I really want to see more. I saw them back in 2019, so...
Ooh.
I am due for another babymetal concert, but who knows?
Yeah, they just announced their new US tour, so check that out. I'd say that the main there's a couple differences. So the first thing about going to see babymetal in Japan is that you are not allowed to have your camera out and be filming and recording. And it's nice. I mean, there's some people who are big fan cam people who they're like groupies. They go to every single show or to as many shows as possible to be right at the barricade so they can film the idols and film fan cams, because it is not allowed in Japan. Or many venues in Japan. So it's nice because you can just be in the moment and just be with the crowd and not be pissed off at the person in front of you for holding up like an iPad, like a folding phone unfolded, and it's like, get that out of my face, I'm trying to see them. So it was really great. Also the mosh pits are more coordinated. So it's slightly less rowdy, and it's less kicking and punching and more circle pit where everyone's running in a circle. So it's really fun, and I'd say it's pretty safe, especially compared to US shows. And then also there are some venues, I don't remember what the rules were on crowd surfing, because when I saw them in Japan, they had several different pits, and it was kind of sectioned out. And the way to get in was very organized. Like, they had numbered tickets, and they would let you in based on your number. So it was kind of randomized. So you didn't have to camp out to be first to get in and to get right up at the front. So that was also a really nice thing.
Like that. Yeah, it's like Japan is so organized like that.
Yeah, I really appreciate their level of organization and the level of diligence in those aspects. Because when you go to shows in America, a lot of time, at least for the shows I've been to, a lot of times the fans themselves will start numbering for the venue. They just do their own self-done numbering system. And so you still gotta show up really early if you want to be the first to get in. So if you don't have all day to be camped out, you don't get the chance to be right at the front. And then also, there is the whole VIP aspect where they let in VIP 0 and VIP 1, so it's kind of pay to play. And it's less pay to play in Japan. So... But the fan culture in Japan was also really great. So I saw them perform 2 days, on a Saturday and a Sunday, at Saitama Super Arena. So it's a really huge venue.
Oh yeah.
And all the fans, they come and they hang out and they, take pictures together, and they'll film dance covers together, and they'll hand out their freebies of all the little trinkets and stickers and postcards that they design. And I think that fan culture is really wonderful. And there is some of that to some extent in the United States, but it's much bigger in Japan. So you show up and you come home with all of these, like I filled up my sticker book with a bunch of stickers of people's art. People will hand out coins or keychains that they made. It's really wonderful. And then it's really fun talking to other people who are fans. I'd never been to a place where there's so many centralized fans all in one place. I mean, I did see them at the Intuit Dome last year here in Los Angeles. So I'm an LA native, born and raised. So that was pretty big too. But
How many times have you seen babymetal?
I think I have seen them now 7 times, including the 2 shows in Japan. So aside from Japan, no 2 US shows have been the same in terms of the set list or the costumes. I think that they change their costumes every year or so. Like they're due for a new costume, and I know that a lot of folks are looking forward to them getting a new costume. And also I'm excited too. They kind of look like peacocks right now with all of their battle armor. I know artists who are like, I don't like drawing all of the little feather looking things. I refuse to do it. So on their behalf, I'm hoping to see a new badass kick-ass costume, or as another fan put it, their drag, which I think is very funny.
My gosh. Yes.
What else? Yeah, crowd surfing. Get used to seeing crowd surfers because they go hard for babymetal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've always wanted to be like right at the barricade, but I'm also terrified of the idea. Like I want to be that close to the stage, but also I don't want to be in danger.
Get kicked in the head. Yeah, for sure. So you got options. Option 1 is find a buddy who is a little bigger and taller and stronger than you, and they can be their sorry, those like old 90s yaoi drawings of like the large men who are like the big strong protector. You need one of those, and they stand behind you and they guard you and they cover you and they protect you from any projectile humans above you. Or your other option, which is slightly less dramatic but equally rewarding, is being on either side. So babymetal's a trio, so their main vocalist Sue Metal is typically center stage, and then Moa Metal and Momo Metal, who is the third member, they will take the sides of the stage. So if you prefer one or the other, you try to stand on the side of the member that you prefer. But, both members go to either side of the stage. So you get to have those interactions with those 2 members on the sides. And there's no crowd surfers because that's generally in the middle. So that's how I have been at Barricade. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't tell if there was an audio. No, we're good. I have been at Barricade. I've been close to the front a handful of times, but there was one show where I was at the Barricade. It was my second ever babymetal show. This was in St. Louis. for their Baby Clock tour. So they co-headlined headlined a show with Death Clock, which is an animated metal band from the show Metalocalypse. So the first show I attended was like a week prior in Chicago. And for that show, Death Clock performed first and then Babymetal performed second. And the Chicago show was very intense because they're showing, basically it's an animated band. So they're just showing the animated music videos on the screen, and then the musicians are in the front, but they have their lights off for the most part. So cool. It was cool, except I was low-key having a stroke during it was very flashy and bright, and then I had to sit through the opener too. So it's a lot of standing, so that did get a little tiresome. And then I was a little in the side, in the middle, and there was just a lot of big people who were all kind of smushing me. It was a little rough, but that was a really great show. But then less than a week later, I went to their St. Louis show. And for this show, I was at the barricade. I was clinging to it for dear life. I didn't want to let go. And I had also taken an edible or two, maybe. So, yeah, that was a really fun time. So I was at the barricade, and for this show, Babymetal went before Death Clock. So I could see Babymetal and then leave. Yes. Because St. Louis it was like 3 hours away from my college campus. And when I bought the tickets to see the show, which was in like April, or right around this time of year, I didn't know what my syllabus would look like. And then I later came to find out that the day after this St. Louis Babymetal show, I would be having a law midterm. So yeah, I was like, well, I'm still going. Like, I will work around it. So I got myself. How long did the edible last?
Important questions.
So I popped one while I was waiting in line to get into the venue, and then I popped a second one, I think, right as I was entering the venue. So it kind of peaked right at the top of their set, and I think it died off by the end of the set. So it was perfect because I was then ready to go by the time it was time for me to drive home or back to the hotel. So yeah, I got a motel really. I drove down the day of the concert, and I was studying in the lobby of this hotel because I got there before I was allowed to check in. So studying like with my flashcards, got my hotel room, immediately put on my red tutu and my makeup, and then I went to the venue. I was waiting around, kind of chit-chatting with people in line. The one thing I'll say, if you go to a concert, especially a Babymetal concert, is talk to the people around you. Go, like, make some friends, listen to other people's music recommendations, ask them, how'd you hear about this band? How many times have you seen them? It's your first time? It's your 20th time? Everyone's got a story to tell. So I would definitely say that's what you should do if you go. But I met some people in line. I'm not going to law school, believe me. It was environmental law. I got my degree in environmental sciences, and my master's is in emergency management, so dealing with disasters. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, as it relates to my Babymetal story, of course. But the St. Louis show. So I got myself VIP tickets. That's why I was like, I'm not skipping this even for a environmental law midterm. I was at the barricade on the side of my favorite member, which is Moa Metal. She is currently the of the three that are in the group right now. She's the one right in the middle in terms of age. I think she's 26, and her birthday is July 4th. It's easy to remember because I'm American. So July 4th, let's go. Celebrating for all the right reasons. Moa metal and Moa metal only. Boom. So I was on her side, and then the edible kicked in, and they have these shiny costumes on, and I think I was like a cat staring at a fishbowl.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was just like mesmerized. I was like, oh my god. And also I knew many of the dances, not all of the dances, because they had a new album that had just come out a little bit before, and because of the way that it is in Japan with their performances, there aren't really any fan cams of those dances. And also babymetal doesn't post dance practice videos like other K-pop groups and some J-pop groups do. So for learning, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, and that's also kind of why I started my YouTube channel in the first place. It's because I was like, if no one else is going to teach these dances, well, damn it, I'll do it. So I was like I do, I was dancing to all the songs that I knew. I guess that Moa Metal realized that I was a big fan who was knowing all the dances, because she kept coming up to me right at the barricade to, you know, say hi to me, and she complimented my tutu, and she waved at me a bunch. Killer, man. And like I said, edible, it's going strong. I think I ascended. It was pretty crazy. But that was like such a heavenly experience, seeing them up close like that. Watching them perform live was really amazing, and I highly recommend the experience to all of you guys.
I feel like from what I've seen, because I've not been to Barricade during a concert before, but from what I've heard, like I feel like if Moa sees a cute girl at Barricade, she will interact with you. I hear so much stuff about Moa complimenting, coming up to girls at Barricade, like,
yes,
one day that will be me.
Yes, I absolutely respect the hustle for her. I too would be complimenting all the cute girls in the audience. And, you know, the thing about babymetal is that they sort of created this audience. You know, metal is typically associated with like masculinity and big and tough and strong and scary, and you know, they created this space in the metal scene that was very, it was, you know, more lighthearted, and it was cute, and it allowed you to be girly and feminine and also still metal and kick-ass. So a lot of the fans are very inclusive, very queer, very young. Like there are a lot of kids who go to see babymetal perform. And I think that's really cool. I wish that I could have been to a show like that when I was younger, but unfortunately I waited until my 20s to see babymetal live.
You know what, I love that the community around babymetal has become so much more diverse, because I do remember I was a babymetal fan. I started listening to them in 2014, and like I didn't really know anyone except for like there were like a couple other girls I knew online who were babymetal fans, but the majority of the online fandoms that I was aware of were like men. And like the babymetal Reddit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like I went mildly viral on babymetal Reddit once when I was younger.
Oh my gosh.
It was a very strange experience. Nothing weird. Yeah, that's just was like, me being a young girl babymetal fan was kind of rare at the time, I think.
Yeah, it's being a metal fan and a woman is a scary thing. So for babymetal to be a gateway, I think is really epic.
Yeah.
'Cause I started going to more metal shows in the last couple of years. I've even crowd surfed before, and I've moshed before, and you know, I built up to that, but you start somewhere, and for me to be like a J-pop metal fusion with all these cute little dances, that was like perfect for me. But yeah, no, being a female babymetal fan can be tough sometimes because the truth is we are outnumbered.
Yeah.
And a lot of the rules of the metal world were sort of made by men. I feel like, I don't know if I might be lying straight out of my butt right now. And I admittedly am not a metal historian, but this is based on vibes. And the vibes are, it's very masculine and kind of scary and intimidating. And, you know, even a lot of men will get defensive about it because they're like, well, I'm a man and I'm not, you know, a horrible person. And it's like, well, yeah, kudos to you for not being awful, but even if it's 1 in 10 people, you know, you stand next to 10 people at a concert and you could be looking over your shoulder wondering if that 1 in 10 is one of the people right next to you. So it's, you know, I went to one babymetal concert where I was waiting in line and I was in the VIP line because I be spending my money like that because I'm a big fan. I was numbered 39 in this line for VIP, which is like priority entry, so you get to be right up at the front. Number 39, and I was probably the second woman in the line. So I was like, okay, where are the girls? I want to talk to the girls. But I didn't get so much of a chance to do that. But, you know, I don't discriminate, right? I like talking to people. So I was talking to some other people around me. And there was this one dude who was, like, right behind me in line. And we were talking about, like, oh, yeah, this is my favorite member. She's the cutest or whatever. And he's like, my favorite metal member is Sue Metal. And I've been practicing my Japanese so I can propose to her in Japanese.
Oh, my
And I was like, oh, wow. You think she's into white boys with neckbeards? Oh, I was like, so I put on my best smile, and I was like, wow. No, I did say that to his face. I was like, oh, you think she's into white guys? Wow. Like, because I didn't know what to say, but I tried to, you know, gently discourage him from doing that because so many reasons that I don't even want to try to go into.
God, yeah.
So I think about that.
Weird fans.
It kind of, yeah, no, there are some notable infamous fans that I will not even bother to give the time of day, who are like unhinged and they like go on manic Twitter rampages. It's so weird and so crazy. And there's also just some people who fetishize Asians. Yeah. And that's not cool. We don't do that around here. No. So, yeah, there are some weirdos, and the metal fandom can be a scary place. And then also, on the other hand, babymetal started when they were like early teens. They were when they were on average 13 years old. So
I think when they debuted,
on the other side,
Yui and Moa were 10, and Sue was like 12. So they really were babies.
Yeah, they were straight up babies. Like they were like, it was a metal band full of like 11-year-olds, 12 and 10. So there are people who are very, very protective of them. So, you know, you have like the creeps on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you have people on the opposite side who are a little overprotective. And you know, in a lot of other bandom, like music groups, there's more of a fan culture surrounding the members of the group. Like I grew up listening to One Direction, and like I was reading so much One Direction fan fiction, like when I was 13 or whatever. You know, being adopted by One Direction, of course.
Oh my god, the peak of fan fiction. The classics.
Wattpad, yeah, your parents sell you to One Direction or whatever. Like I was reading that stuff, right? But you don't want to be writing that kind of stuff about 12-year-olds. It's really weird. Yeah. So that sort of aspect, yeah, it's a horseshoe basically. So there, you know, and the members are all adults now, but there was a time where they weren't, and they were known for being little kids who were doing this. So for some people, it still kind of sticks that they have to be very protective of them and of their image and how they're perceived. And to that, I say, I agree, but like also, you know, let's let people engage in fan culture around baby metal a little bit more, because there are a lot of fans, especially queer fans, who want more of that, and it feels very dry because you have to maintain that level of, you know, composure and not saying anything too weird. And, you know, people are worried that if they say something, especially, like I said, queer fans feel like they can't fully engage in being queer within the fandom, because then it becomes people being like, why are you talking about sexualities and sex and stuff like that? And it's like, well, it's just like a normal aspect of being a person who goes through life. So, like, I have experienced a little bit of homophobia, and so I personally try to limit, you know, how much I talk about baby metal as, you know, a queer person, because I don't want people to be assuming the wrong things about me and how I feel about baby metal based on that, you know. But like, there's so many men who you can do that for, so I don't know, it's like it's a horseshoe basically. Yeah. But I come here pleading for more fan fiction, woo, and more fan fiction, but also like fan art. I think fan art is a wonderful thing. Generally, in, you know, like I said, it's the horseshoe, it's the extremes on either end. But for the most part, the, you know, 9 out of 10 baby metal fans you meet are gonna be really chill. Like, I talked to a lot of people when I was in Japan. I talked to a lot of people at the shows I've been to in the United States, and I've only had a handful of, you know, one-off people. And obviously being online is a little bit scarier than being in person, because talking to people in person, you can vibe check. And you can also see what they look like, and you can kind of make maybe not fully judge a book by its cover, but you can make a determination, oh, you seem like you're my kind of people that I could hit it off with. And, you know, maybe they'll introduce you to somebody new. Online, it's a lot easier to be hateful because you're under that guise of anonymity. So I try to keep my interactions to the people that I've met at shows or who I've vibe checked, basically, to make sure that they're, you know, a person who I can sort of be myself and have conversations in a normal way that I would want to, and they're not gonna be all, you know, high and mighty and you know, judge me for saying the things that I want to say.
So we did talk a bit about choreographies, and you can still go into that more if you want, but also I'm just curious, what are your favorite songs?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna open up my phone for this. So my number one song for baby metal of all time, when I went to Japan, at the pop-up shop that they had before the shows, you could vote for their top 15 songs for their 15th anniversary. The song that I voted for was Monochrome, which was so off good. Of... It's so good. It is kind of slower, but it's intense. I made... Like, this song is so important to me, guys. I made a video essay on my YouTube channel. It's like the one and only time where I went full in on like my queer roots. I talked about how Monochrome is, or at least I talked about the lyrics of Monochrome through a queer lens. So, like, this song was already such a banger for me. They dropped it as a pre-release to their new upcoming unofficial album. It was an album that they released that they don't count as part of their lore because, like I said, the lore, the concept album. It's a concept. It's not their lore. The lore goes so crazy that they have whatever. But so the song was really great to me. And then like a year or two later, I read through the lyrics while I was also going through a really difficult time in my life. And the lyrics really spoke out to me as a song about learning to live, I don't know, maybe as a queer person or as a person who is sort of trying to fit into this binary way of existence and learning how to flourish outside of that and live a full and colorful life with the people that you want to love and have in your circle. So yeah, I think that that lyrical reading of it that I did really added an element of enjoyment to the song. And the song is already such a banger.
Oh yeah.
So just reading through those lyrics, maybe check out my YouTube video essay if you want to hear more about me talking about that.
I'm gonna go watch that later. I'm very intrigued now. That sounds really cool.
OMG. Yeah, I talk about how I became a babymetal fan, much like I did in this stream. And also how I low-key figured out I was bi because of Moa medals. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there, right? Right. That's not a high priority in my level of enjoyment for babymetal, right? I have layers, right?
Okay, but I have a very similar experience. Moa helped me figure things out too.
Oh my god! Yes, twin!
Oh my gosh.
Twin, let's go! Oh my gosh.
Is a queer icon, not really.
No, but like there's I'm not one to investigate people's personal lives, right? I'm not going to be that guy. But if you watch enough fan cams and you're a part of the team, you sort of, you know, you do a vibe check. You see the signs, right? Like that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, okay? I'm not arguing for or against anything, but you know, she did say in a recent interview that she did this. Babymetal did an interview with Crunchyroll to talk about like anime and how they're opening now for anime songs. So, and they did like this game where it was talk about, we're gonna give you trios of anime characters and you guys like assign them to yourselves. And they're like Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. And Moa's like, oh, I'm Tanjiro because I like cute girls. And I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't know that was a way that one could relate to Tanjiro for. But go off, queen. You do that. I would have said Tanjiro because he's, you know, like a cool fighter and he's a protective. But no, she's like, oh, yeah, no, it's because I like cute girls. Like, okay, girl, you tell him. You tell him. So, yeah. Shout out to Moa Metal. Love her to death. So yeah, Monochrome. Back to Monochrome. That song is just a wonderful song. In terms of songs with the dances that I really like, oh my god, that's so hard to pick. I made a tier list video on my YouTube channel ranking the songs on kind of my taste and also like the choreography, how difficult they are. There are some songs that like I've danced to and they've given me cramps and I end up on the floor. So they're like, I need to know what their training regimen is so I can become as strong and powerful as them.
They're so intense sometimes. My gosh.
Oh my gosh. I have another YouTube video that I did that I actually want to remake or find a new way to do it, where I danced to an entire babymetal festival set.
Oh, wow.
So that, yeah, because I'm crazy like that. Yeah, I the hard thing with it is that a lot of the babymetal performances are copyrighted, so I've made and recorded and edited other versions of it, and they just kept getting, blocked. So I sort of gave up on making them. But I want to remake one that I did last year, the one that I managed to get up. Because I straight up, I end up on the floor, like my bones are creaking, like you audibly hear it, like it's crazy. And you hear my heavy breathing where I'm like the whole time. It's a good video. I'm very proud of that video. And it really shows how hard babymetal trains to be the performers that they are. And if you haven't seen babymetal perform at this point in the stream, definitely take some time to go watch literally any performance. Yeah, a 10 out of 10. Like if you can't see them live, at least watch them on YouTube for 24 hours straight, like I've maybe done.
Yes.
I haven't done that. But okay, right. So the dances that are most difficult. There's a couple of new songs that I've learned the choreography to that's very hard. So Kon Kon featuring Bloodywood, that's on their new album.
That's one of my favorites on the new album.
New album Metal Fourth. It is it uses Indian musical style and Indian dance style, and I'm not an expert on there's different types of Indian dance styles that I can't name right now because I don't know it, but they incorporate Indian dance into the choreography, so it's very precise and it's very quick, and there's a lot of new and weird movements and like shifting on one leg, and like you just have to watch a video to see it. Like I tried to learn it in 3 days, and
gosh.
I did it, but it was not a fun experience. Another difficult song off of that new album is Algorithm, which I'm learning right now, and I'm pretty close to having it all down. But that's also very fast and very precise. A lot of the dances from their first album, when they were like 12 years old, they're dances that you can do when you're 12 years old with all the crazy jumping and running around and stuff, that by the time you get to your 20s, you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, so one of those would be, okay, Megitsune is pretty hard. That one's pretty hard. Headbanger is also hard because that one involves a lot of jumping. And the old performances, they would do these crazy high jumps that I think that they've toned down more recently because they just don't need to be doing all that. They don't need to. So, and
they really made use of their youth.
No, seriously. Exactly. I was 12 years old and I was like, damn, why can't I do that? And Ijime Dame Zetai and Road of Resistance, those are also very difficult, very fast, very high intensity. So if you're ever looking...
that one like would open with them just like Yui and Moa on opposite ends of the stage, just like charging, like just, like run on stage.
Straight up, it's like straight up medieval times, like jousting. They're running straight at each other. It's pretty crazy. So that one's a lot of cardio, but you know, dancing to babymetal is a really great cardio workout. I have legitimately lost weight since I left college because, you know, freshman 15 plus COVID, it was just a bad combo. And I lost a lot of weight from doing babymetal dance because I don't like running. I hate running. I can't run. Well, I can kind of run now. I just found out I was running late to a concert, so I was sprinting. And I was surprised that I was alive. But, you know, when I was 13 and having to do the mile run in middle school every week, I was miserable and I hated it. So I did not like running. But I like dancing. So being able to dance with babymetal is really great for that reason. What other dances do I like? Like I said, you should check out my choreography ranking video because I talk about all the dances and whether I like them or, you know, how difficult they are. So yeah, I'll give one more recommendation for a dance that I like. Let me pick a sorry, it's hard to pick. Oh my gosh.
There's so many good ones.
Oh my god, there's so many because I know so many of these dances. I was spending a lot of time doing this in college. Okay, karate. That song, it looks like you do karate, so that's very cool. Yava, that means oh no. Yava, it's like you're doing an oh no, like hand movement in the dances where you're freezing and posing and being like, oh no. So that one's really fun to do. And it's pretty energetic, and it's also kind of, I don't know, the guitar riff just kind of reminds me of like being a California girl. So I feel like if you listen to it, you would understand. It's like one of those like, I don't know, 1960s being on the beach, surfer, riptide kind of guitar riffs. So I like that one for that reason. Yeah. Okay. No. The last one is going to be syncopation. Syncopation. That one is. This one's a slight deep cut if you're like kind of outside of or on the edge of the baby metal bubble, because syncopation is a song that was released in the Japanese version of their album. It was their second album. So Metal Resistance. On Metal Resistance in Japan, they released the song Syncopation, and internationally they released the song From Dusk Till Dawn. So you don't really know Syncopation unless you find it on YouTube or you listen to one of their live albums.
Oh my
but
gosh.
The dance is very fun.
For me, back when that album was still new, like the only version of Syncopation I could find on YouTube was like a Nightcore version. So that was Syncopation to me. It was just like a sped up, pitched up version of it.
Oh my gosh, that's wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Those were the days.
Whew, yeah.
It was a different time to be a baby metal fan.
Yeah, no, now that they've gotten a lot bigger, there's a lot more fan cameras, and Twitter has made it very easy to access that kind of stuff. A lot of people are on Twitter in the baby metal fandom. And that's also the reason why I started using Twitter. Believe me, I did not want to use Twitter. I really did not want to use Twitter because I started using, like, I made an account in high school or whatever, but I didn't really use it until after Elon Musk bought it.
Aww.
Right? So I didn't want to be on Twitter. I knew it was a time suck, and guess what it does now? It sucks my time. But I'm using that time suck to be looking at baby metal fan cams and like K-pop stuff too. Yeah, and also I see the origins of the funny tweets that I eventually see on Instagram meme pages. So I feel like I'm just kind of getting ahead of the curve. So, but yeah, no, with Twitter, basically, this is a great story. Baby Metal, they just wrapped up this radio show called Metarari. So they started doing it at the beginning of last year, 2025. And it was really cool because Baby Metal are very private. Like, they don't make behind the scenes videos or anything. They just like do their performance on stage and they leave, and that's kind of it. Like, they don't really do much else in terms of like fan service. They don't do meet and greets. They don't do like fan meets that you would see in the K-pop sphere. So what we see of them is very limited. So they announced that they're going to do this radio show where they're going to talk on the radio for 20 minutes straight, like a podcast. And that was like crazy. That was really cool. We got to start hearing them talk more about, tour life and, their personal tastes and interests. So that was very special. And part of the radio show is you could submit a message and they would read a message from a fan each week. So that was really cool. And I met a couple of people through that. And they were like, when they started this radio program, they're like, oh, Twitter is going to be our main way of getting in contact and having a community around the project. So I was like, well, fuck, I got to use Twitter. Like, I was not happy. I really did not want to do that. But I started following other baby metal accounts on Twitter. And now they're all my homies. So definitely meet people online in real life. Definitely do that. It's good advice for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I have one friend who she got her message read kind of early on on their radio show, her message was read, and she like posted a video of herself sobbing because she was like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so awesome." Yeah, I met several people through that and through interacting with folks who were, you know, listening to or sending messages to the radio program. And then like 2 months ago, maybe, they announced that they're gonna end the radio show. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna send in one last message, you know, as they're wrapping up the show, and just be like, wow, since you started doing this, I started using Twitter, and, you know, I met people, and I went to some of your shows, and I met the people at the shows, and that was really epic, and I'm looking forward to what you're doing next. And this radio show, it aired at, you know, 7 or 8 o'clock, I guess, in Japan time, which for me on the West Coast of the United States was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I work on Saturdays. I have a job, right? So I'm not staying up to 3 a.m. to listen to a Japanese radio broadcast using a VPN when I don't speak Japanese. So I went to bed knowing that they would be airing their final episode of this radio show. And then my alarm goes off the next morning and I hit snooze. And then I like take a peek at my notifications just cause, and my notifications are flooded, all right? And I go on Discord, and one of my friends is like, they read your message. And I was like, don't fucking lie to me. Don't be sending me this bullshit at 7 a.m. Don't lie to my face. You know, like, I was tired. I'd hit snooze. My alarm still hadn't really fully gone off. And I checked Twitter, and it was very real.
Oh my
goodness. And like my blood, my veins like froze. It was crazy. I like all my messages were people tagging me, because there's this one guy, his name is Babymetal Tube. He's here on Twitch and he's on YouTube. He made every single week English and Spanish translations of their radio episodes. So that was how I would sort of stay, you know, intact with what was going on. And, you know, hearing their radio show while it was translated with subtitles, that was very helpful. And he would post each week of the fan whose thing was read, and he tagged me. He's like, oh, this fan who's from Los Angeles and met a bunch of people at all the shows. That sounds like you. And it was so crazy. I was on the Jumbotron for their final episode of the radio show. So, like, I was just in another, like, chat, like, a couple days ago, and people were messaging me, like, oh my gosh, I heard your message got read, and I was like, ah! So,
that's awesome.
My message was read by Moa.
Oh my gosh.
So they said my name, right? I'm like, oh my God, they said my name. And then they read my message, and I was also a little scared because I had to like translate it to Japanese and I didn't know how accurate it would be. It was pretty accurate. And I added a little heart emoticon at the end of my message, which Moa read aloud as like and she blew kisses, and she's like, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh
That's
my
what it says. And I was like, oh my God, like yeah. Many such cases. Yeah. That was crazy. And I, you know, like that's probably the second craziest way that I've ever woken up in my life.
Oh my
the first being when I was a wildfire survivor. So, woo!
Dang.
Not quite topping it, but, you know, a lot more fun. Way less traumatic. This sake is good. This sake I brought home from Japan.
Yeah, I've
So I
never
made
tried sake. Well, I was in Japan, but I'm on a medication, so I can't drink alcohol. But I was like, oh man, I want to know what it tastes like.
Well, first
How
of
would you
all,
describe it?
it didn't stop me from drinking when I was on them in college. Second of all, no, Yeah, no, when I went to Japan, there were several instances where I was having sake.
Mm.
And in front of the venue for Baby Metal show, while I was talking with other fans, there was this older Japanese guy with like long hair and sunglasses. He kind of looked like a hippie sort of. And I don't think he spoke any English, but he held up a bottle of vodka in some little cups. And it was basically like, "You want some?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I took a shot of vodka there in front of the venue. And then he's like, "You want some more?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." So I took a second shot of vodka. And then he offered me a third, and I was like, "Okay, no, I can't do that." But then he pulled out a bottle of red wine, and I was like, "Well, shit, you got me there." So I was pretty drunk while I was talking to other fans at that Baby Metal concert, but it was very fun because I was just going up to people and be like, "Oh my gosh, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? That's so cool." Like, I was just frolicking. It was really fun. So those are the two substances that I've been on at Baby Metal concerts. And only two, for the record. For all those who care, for all those who are gonna police. Yeah.
So you've been a Baby Metal fan for a while. What are your favorite eras of Baby Metal?
Ooh.
Now, they've changed a lot over the years. What are some of your favorite times to be a fan?
Oh, well, I'm sure that the best time to be a fan was the one period of time where I wasn't a big fan, which was like pre-Yui Metal's departure.
Yeah.
Like when they were really starting to blow up and they were going international more often. I think being a fan during the Metal Resistance era would have been so dope. Unfortunately, I was like
Metal
14.
Resistance era.
Like, I would have loved to see Baby Metal perform live in those early days, especially as a young girl at the time. What would have been even cooler was seeing Baby Metal open for Lady Gaga, which is very real. That's very real, and it happened. First of all, Lady Gaga has taste. It was on the same tour that Hatsune Miku opened for her. So that's awesome. I wish I could have seen Baby Metal and Lady Gaga in one day.
That would have been so cool.
Who knows? Maybe the next Coachella lineup. We'll see. No, I'm kidding. I really don't want to have to go to Coachella. Yeah, so that would have been a really great time. I would have loved to see Baby Metal perform at the Forum. I'm gonna see Electric Cowboy there.
Oh.
No, not at the Forum. I'm sorry. I'm gonna see them at Intuit Dome, which is where I just saw Baby Metal. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the Forum show, which I was not here for. I think right now is... Ooh, actually, before I say anything that I'm gonna regret, no. I think the era with the concept album called The Other One, I think that was a really cool era because at the time, basically right as I was getting really into Baby Metal in college, they went on a hiatus.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, so that damn staircase, they made this video where it showed...
Yes.
So Moa and Su Metal were the only two members at the time because Yui Metal, one of the original members, had left due to undisclosed health reasons, and that was like a whole thing. So that probably would have been the worst time to be a Baby Metal fan because I hear there was just a lot of drama and fighting and hate.
That was a brutal
Like,
time.
I'm sure you were fighting for your life in that era. I was doing my own thing. I was not a part of that. I was not witness to any of that. I actually, by the time I got back into Baby Metal, I was watching videos of them performing in their Metal Galaxy era, and I was like, oh, wow, that's Sue. And, oh, I guess that's Moa. Wow, she got really pretty when she grew up. And who the fuck is that? Like, I was really confused. Like, I thought I was tripping. I was like, Yui Metal didn't change that much, right? No, it was a whole different person. And when I was a kid, I think Yui Metal was actually my favorite. Like I think I liked learning her parts in the dance. Now, in terms of learning the dance, I kind of switch off just depending on who I can see better. But my eyes do gravitate one way, generally speaking. But yeah, the other one, when that concept album came out, they'd come back from hiatus and it felt very fresh. And they were leaning more into this metal sound, and they were, covering these more dark and intense subjects, and it wasn't so cutesy. So seeing that era was really cool. And I also really loved the costumes at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved the music at the time. So, yeah, and that was also just like when I was really, really big on babymetal, was like late Metal Galaxy era and the concept album Other One era. Right now, it's still going really strong, but I think that fans are kind of divided over the latest album because, I mean, it's a good album. I liked it. There's a lot of songs that I like, and there's never, for me, one album that's perfect, like there's always songs that I'm gonna want to prefer listening to over other songs, but people were pretty upset because out of the 10 songs on this album, and it's like a 30-minute album, it's pretty short, and 7 of them are collabs.
Oh yeah.
So people were upset, I think rightfully so, because it's like, well, it's not like a baby metal sound. It's them kind of adopting everybody else's sound. And, it doesn't feel like baby metal. It feels like baby metal and friends, which I like baby metal and I like all of their... No, I don't like all of their friends. I like most of their friends. There's, somebody who I'm not going to say who I think is a poor collaborative choice and wasn't needed. And if you know, you know. But yeah, I think that, there were people who were upset with the album. It was too short, too many collaborations, not originally baby metal enough. And, that's fine. You don't have to listen to it if you don't want to. There's other songs in the other albums that are also really great. And if you want to listen to those instead, I don't think anything is stopping you. So, I'm not one to hate. Like, I don't have it in me to hate. Like, I'm low-key, like, turning around on turning around on Cat's Eye, okay? I have a lot of words about Cat's Eye, so I won't even bother starting on that. But, I had a VIP badge to their LA show, which sold out very fast. And now I'm really not a big fan. And that happens. But I'm not going to hate, But I think that the what's to come for baby metal is going to be the most exciting because they just had this album. They're having this newest, biggest next tour ever, which, they're not coming to Southern California. So whatever, who cares? Not me. I'm not mad at all about that they're not coming here to LA. No, they'll come to LA. I mean, that's what they did last year when they announced the tour, is they just didn't have LA on there, and I was kind of I was very devastated, actually. And then they surprised us with a big show, a big stadium show, which ended up being here in Los Angeles. And then they also had a secret show that was a very small music venue with only like less than 1,000 people. So that's where I met that one weird guy who was like, I'm gonna propose in Japanese. And I was like, please don't do that. But a lot of the people who were at that show I later got to see in Japan. So it was it was like a reunion, basically, like you recognize all these people and you're like, oh, I remember you from this show or that show. And so, you gradually make friends and get to know the people who go to all these shows. I forget what the question was and what I was talking about. Wow.
So I also forgot the question.
Nice. I just
see.
like yapping.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the questions are just like a little guide, not to the idea is just to go on tangents. Tangents are very welcome here, as you can probably have figured out.
Godspeed. Yes. Well, if there's anything I'm good at, it's yapping about baby metal for far too long. So
Yes.
if I had a podcast, that's, I'm sure, what it would be called. I actually got into K-pop because of baby metal.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I know. I think that there's a lot of folks who it's kind of the other way around, I suppose. But for me, it was when they went on hiatus in like 2022 or 2023, because I was learning all these dances and then I ran out of dances to learn. And I was like, well, shit, what do I do now? And then I was seeing like Felix from Stray Kids on TikTok. And that was very cool. And so I like learning those dances. And then also just with my university experience, I did tricking martial arts. So it's like a gymnastics martial arts mix.
Oh, wow.
So there would be like taekwondo and dance people who would do the club to learn how to do the cool flips and stuff that I was trying to learn how to do too. So the taekwondo people, they would do these showcases and performances at these, you know, various Asian American showcases. And, you know, who else was performing at those showcases? K-pop dance cover groups. So that was my first exposure really to that. So that was, I started getting into learning K-pop dances because I was like, oh, I can do that like I do with baby metal, except it's way more big and it's more of a whole ecosystem that I can be a part of, and it's not just me being one of 4 people who are doing these dances. So yeah, because the thing about like we've, you know, mentioned earlier, being a baby metal fan can be scary, and it's also a little bit isolating because it feels like it's not big in comparison to what other music groups are doing, and they are very big, but like I feel like you're not gonna hear people say that they know baby metal like they know, I don't know, like BTS or Blackpink or Sabrina Carpenter or Twice. Niche. I love Twice. Yeah, so they're kind of niche. They're in this, you know, if you aren't like a big J-pop or heavy metal listener, like the odds of you discovering them are kind of low unless you were on YouTube in 2014 or 16 like I was. So you kind of had to be in the know 10 years ago, or you're just now seeing their music on Fortnite or whatever, and now you're starting to tap in with their new albums. And they just signed with Capitol Records last year.
Oh yeah.
So they're expanding into like the Western market. And they're expanding more on what they're doing in, you know, the United States, especially. There's a lot of people who are mad online because they're like, the United States gets everything. And it's like, we can acknowledge that U.S. imperialism is bad, but also we want our treats too. We want to share the love for baby metal, you know, like, yeah. We can criticize how the U.S. is, but also be happy for people in the U.S. because I think everyone should get the chance to appreciate baby metal and see them live and buy their merch, and it shouldn't be region blocked.
I like that baby metal tries to be more international because I think J-pop groups tend to be more focused on Japan. They don't often. It's only very recently I feel like we've been getting more like J-pop expanding.
Yeah, for sure.
Baby metal's been trying to be global for a while, which I've always appreciated.
Yeah, like they were the first Japanese group to headline at Wembley Stadium. I'm not a historian of all things baby metal. I don't know all the facts, but they've been a lot of firsts for Japan.
Really have.
Like they were the first Japanese artist to get a top 10 Billboard album. So that was a first. I think they were one of the first Japanese groups to headline into a dome. I'm fudging up all my facts, but they've just had a lot of firsts, and they've been very breakout from Japan. And I think that them embracing the international market and going to where the fans are is the best thing for them, because I mean I saw a tweet on Twitter, the thing that we're dead naming. And it was like, being a J-pop fan is hard because you want to buy their merch or go see them in concert, and you need a Japanese phone number and a Japanese credit card and a Japanese email address and a Japanese home address.
Yeah.
And it can be very hard. And when I went to Japan, I wanted to see an underground metal show with Dizzy Reverse, who was a baby metal dance cover group, who now they're making their own original music. I think that's really cool. On Lady Baby, Broken by the Scream. So I got to see them and a couple other artists, but I had to have my friend in Japan buy the tickets for me. I just straight up could not do it myself.
I know it's so difficult.
Yeah, so
it's all either
in a
like
world,
it requires an address, phone number, or it's like a lottery.
Yeah, so I got lucky with the lottery to see the baby metal show in Saitama. And then if you lose the lottery, you either gamble on somebody else having a ticket for you, or you just like I didn't even want to think about it. Like I made sure that I had tickets to see them before I booked my flight tickets.
Oh yeah.
So I planned my whole trip around seeing them in concert, because yeah, I don't know. I mean, my friend who I met at baby metal shows in Los Angeles last year, he was like, going to see baby metal in Japan is like being Muslim and going on your pilgrimage to Mecca. And I was like, holy shit, like, wow, that's really strong comparison. I'm sold. Like, that's crazy. So I did that. And he was low-key kind of right. Like, okay, I'm not gonna compare anything to going on a pilgrimage, but it was kind of a pilgrimage in its own way, and it was really cool. Like, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, I guess it's not a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but it was a really special experience. So, but yeah, you have to do the lottery system, which honestly is kind of more fair, because it's not pay to play. You just you either get the tickets or you don't. And I think that with being an international fan, it is a little bit easier, because there's less people who are willing to travel from out of the country for a concert, so the amount of people you're competing with to get the tickets is less. Whereas if you're a Japanese person in Japan entering a lottery, it's really easy to just take the train and go to where you need to go. I was so impressed with it. But that means that you're fighting with every single person who can access the train to go see the show. So it's not as easy for them. There are Japanese fans who get upset because the odds feel stacked against them, or they don't win the lotteries a lot. But I've had the one and done, well, two and done, because it was for 2 concert dates. But I got lucky. I actually entered the lottery for 2 tickets, because I was like, if I request 2 tickets, it'll double my chances of getting them, right? Which, I don't know if that's true or not, but it I guess worked, because I got them. And then I had to find people who were willing to come to Japan without a ticket so I could give it to them. So that's, scary in its own way. And I was with other people who were all like planning to go. So we were like, okay, who has tickets? Who has an extra? Who can do this or that or whatever? But you plan to go in a group. If you're like, I wasn't gonna solo, like I went to Japan by myself, but I wasn't really alone, because I coordinated with other fans who I'd met, who was like, oh, you're gonna be there? I'm gonna be there. Let's go together. Let's try to go to the pop-up shop together. Let's take the train together. And I even stayed in the same hotel as one person. And, we were able to just go together to a bunch of the things, or, in the same region or on the same street. So great. Yeah, and baby metal fans for the most part are really cool. Like, because it takes a special kind of person to be like, yeah, I like listening to this Japanese heavy metal dance trio. It's like, what? Most people like, even, I mean, if you're like a K-pop fan, it's not a hard sell because you're already watching idols do singing and dancing. It's just heavy metal and it's Japanese and not Korean. But if you're a metalhead, it's a little bit more, you're either open to seeing how they rock, or you are resistant to it.
Yeah.
So, and it's very easy to be resistant to it. But the people who do embrace it are really cool.
Yeah.
So, and you all get to bond over your shared love of it, and everyone has their own story to tell. And, there's a diversity of backgrounds and of ages of the people. So you'll have some real old, I'm not going to say old, but there's some older metalheads who've been moshing since, the 70s and 80s, who are now baby metal fans, and they're the unks and the aunties, and they're all there. And then you have the people who bring their kids, so they're raising their kids on baby metal.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the people like me who were raised at the same time as baby metal, so I kind of grew up with baby metal.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's really cool, and hearing everyone's different perspective on how they came to be a fan. Like, I was one of the people who got involved because of all the YouTubers React stuff, but some people, knew of them from before that, which is really epic. And, there's some people who've been to hundreds of baby metal concerts. So I told one guy he needed to go to the back. It was at the 1,000-person venue, very small, right? Very small. And he's like, "Oh, I've been to over 100 baby metal shows." I was like, "Go to the back, save some for the rest of us. What do you mean you're the third person in line? What do you need to be there for? Like,
oh my god,
save it for me, give it to me." No, that's there's some people. Yeah, it's just, like I said, the best thing you can do if you go to any concert, baby metal or not, is to just talk to the people around you. Oh, you know this band? Have you seen them before? Oh, you have seen them before? Cool. When did you see them? What did you think? What blah, blah, blah. Just talk to people. Make small talk. Get to know the people around you. Try to make some new friends. So I'm very grateful for all of the other baby metal fans who I've met, because there was a time where I felt like the only baby metal fan, and obviously I'm not the only baby metal fan, but when it's you and then all the people on Reddit, it's kind of intimidating.
It really was.
No offense to Redditors. Okay, no, mild offense to Redditors. But I myself am a Redditor, so I'm allowed to say that. People could be dicks online, but once you actually start talking to people, you can sort of get past the abrasiveness of being online, and it's that much better.
Yeah.
It's so much better. So much better.
I've always thought, just in general, like, experiencing fandom in person is such a better experience. Like, for example, I used to live in South Korea, and I was in Korea during, I guess, BTS's 10th anniversary. Because there was like this whole event, and I got to go and see so many people, so many ages, and there were like elderly people who were fans of BTS. There were families with young children. I was like, man, going from the toxic realm of Twitter to this is a very different experience. Going and touching grass and experiencing real people is a much better experience a lot of the time.
Yeah. And it's very easy when you're only in online spaces to feel very cynical about everybody else and the world around you. But re-engaging yourself with the community that you want to be a part of and finding those people in person is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
So, like, I used to hate baby metal. No, that's a strong word. I used to not have a great feeling about baby metal fans, because I felt like every single baby metal fan was like a dude
Yeah.
who was like, oh, I like baby metal, but also I'm overly trying not to come off as a creep because they're all 17, so I'm gonna police everything around us. And it's like, I just want to be a teenage girl who's a fan. Like, it felt very hard to be a teenage girl and be a fan.
Oh, it was a weird time. Like, again, I never got any creepy comments, really, but they were... I remember because, like I mentioned before, I made a YouTube video, I think back in, I don't know, 2015, there was like a baby metal tag going around on YouTube among fans, so I did that. And like my video got its own little like Reddit post, and people are commenting on it, commenting on my video. You're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this girl who's the same age as baby metal is also a fan of baby metal. I was like, yeah.
Many such cases. No, because you can't be a person who's younger than baby metal and look up to them because you're a creep because they were former children.
My gosh.
That is a real perspective I've been told.
I have seen that before. It's wild.
Yeah. And it's like, let's all be normal, but also allow fandom space to exist, because it's like kind of quintessential for a lot of fans. You know, maybe you don't need to be a part of that sort of fandom space, but there's like a happy medium where people are allowed to be. And I think that thought crimes are not real, and having opinions are not real. You know, being an actual creep and promising to, I don't know, like threatening marriage with the members. I don't know. Like there's such a thing as nuance. And like I said, I'm the same age as the members, you know? Like it would be different if I was like, you know, 40 years old looking at these 17-year-old girls. But I'm in my early 20s, just like baby metal is.
Yeah.
Or they're in their mid 20s now, I guess. The oldest member, Sue, is turning I think, what is it, 29 this year, at the end of this year. So like, but they're, and then some people can be ageist and be like, oh my god, even though the oldest is pushing 30, she's still cute. It's like, first of all, shut the fuck up.
Pushing 30. 30's not old. Like,
it's not old, and there's no age limit to being cute. Like, if I want to be cute right now at my dear age of 24, I'm gonna be cute, damn it. And if I want to be a cute elderly lady, I'll do that too, in however long it takes for me to get there, you know. And I was a cute kid, you know. Cuteness doesn't have an age. And also being like, I don't know, whatever.
No, honestly, it makes me really happy that baby metal are still active, because, you know, like, I don't like talking about idol culture in the way other people do, because I love idols, so I'm not like, you'd be like, oh yeah, toxic idol culture. But I mean, it is a thing where idols typically are younger, and when they get older, they graduate. So I love when a group can stay together for a long time. Like, baby metal's been around for a long time, and they're still going strong, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like it's like a new beginning with them. So their newest member, Momo Metal, she joined officially as a member in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So with her joining and she's sort of growing into her position in baby metal, she does heavy vocals now. So growling. Oh my
gosh, she's so freaking cool.
So that's like a whole new aspect that baby metal can deliver, is heavy vocals. Like my sister, I remember a couple years ago, she's like, I don't like baby metal, they sound like chipmunks. I'm like, I hate you. No, I love my sister very dearly. But they bring heavy vocals into their shit now. Like, that's really epic. And then Moa Metal has, you know, she's talked about how she's grown as a dancer. So seeing that progression of dance, and also for me as a dancer and being able to progress myself, is really cool. And then of course Sue Metal, her vocals have obviously her voice has changed since she was, 12 years old. Shocker, your 12-year-old voice is not going to be the same as when you are pushing 30. Oh, I hate that I said that. I'm sorry. But yeah, so her vocal tone has changed, and she's able to do more complex riffs and bring in different vocal techniques. So they're just like constantly evolving, and each set of new dances that they learn for each new album is more difficult than the last. Like their first album when they were all 12 was very much heavy on the J-pop. Like, for example, Doki Doki Morning was their first song, period. And this was when they were like the youngest that they were at any point ever. That sentence didn't make sense. So this was when they were very young, and their choreography, if you watch it, it's very J-poppy. It's ring, 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 like, oh my gosh, pick up the phone, like I'm just bouncing around on stage and pointing and being cute. And now it's like, it's very precise, it's very sharp, it's very fast, it's very hard hitting, and it's very clean too. So that's like the coolest part. And they're consistent. And they also bring out all the idol flavor with all of their, emoting on stage and, the crowd interaction. So, yeah, it's seeing that progress over time has been really interesting. And then, learning more about them and them talking about their personal growth. Oh, and right, what I was going to say is on the radio show that they were doing, they were interviewing other artists, a lot of other Japanese artists. And some of these artists were folks who were in bands that have been going on for 20, 30, even 40 years. So in babymetal, talking to these groups and, looking up to them and talking about how they can have longevity in that way. And it's like, wow, babymetal's only on year 15, and the legendary metal groups have 40 years of experience as a band together. So they're not even halfway through their career doing all that. So if now's a good time to join the babymetal fandom, new tour coming up, like I'm sure in the next couple of years they will be dropping another album, and my hopes for the next album is that they kind of hear the critiques about having too many collaborators and they make it a little more baby metal focused, and maybe each of the members has a solo, because
oh my god, I've been wanting solos again for so long. You don't understand.
Yes. Oh my god. I think each member should have their chance to shine while the other members get to rest and have water off stage. But yeah, no, the last time that they really had solos was it was before Momo Metal joined the group. So it was at least, 4 or 5 years ago, I would say. So there was Sue Metal on the first two albums. Sue Metal had a solo song, and then they would do a Black Babymetal song. And Black Babymetal was like a subgroup of Babymetal that was just Yui Metal and Moa Metal. And those two, they would do a song together. And that was always very cute.
Yeah, I love
naturally.
Black Babymetal. Like, so these are my favorite songs. Would be the Black Babymetal ones. They were so cool.
I made a dance tutorial video for Onadari Daisuken. So if you ever want to learn, you might need a towel, and you got to be careful not to smack yourself in the face with it, because I may or may not have done that a handful of times, at least. But yeah, Yui Metal left the group. So Moa gave one solo performance. I guess it was two, because she did it a second time a little later, where she did the duo song just as a solo. So, I love that for her. I hope to see more solos from her, but it felt like it was a solo, but it was also partially missing something because it was originally made as a duo. So, and then also with Momo Metal, the new member, with her heavy vocals, you know, I think each of them having more of that chance to shine as themselves and have their moment, you know, I think that would be really cool. And it would be a great way for them to fill up the album. Yay!
Yes.
That they can do stuff that isn't other stuff. Cool, epic, yeah. That's what I'm praying for. But only the Fox God knows.
Only the Fox God knows. Oh
I
my
said
gosh.
the thing.
Oh my gosh.
I said the thing.
Thinking about yes. Do you remember how bizarre their Fox God lore used to be? Like, I had a very brief period when I was younger, like when I was a newer fan, where I couldn't tell if it was a bit or if they were actually worshipping a Fox God. The way they would talk about him in interviews, I was like, I'm not sure if this is a cult or if they're just in character.
Oh my gosh.
They used to be like, oh yeah, we get possessed by the spirit of the Fox God when we perform. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think the lore is. Do I know the lore? Absolutely not. Do I pray to the Fox God? I absolutely do.
Heck yeah.
I unironically pray to the Fox God. And you know what? It's worked. So, you know, I'm not going to say anything. You're right. I'm not going to say anything. It works. I prayed. I got lottery tickets to see them in January. I prayed. Gosh. They showed up in LA when I was so devastated that they didn't have any LA shows scheduled, and they scheduled 2 shows. I prayed, and they read my message on their fucking radio show and sent me into oblivion. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue on whether or not it's true. But that being said, the lore, from what I think it is that there was once a fox god, and he was the god of foxes. I don't know. And he wanted to spread his woke agenda. So he made his spirit possess his 3 disciples, who were these young girls, and they would spread the message of the fox god because they are megitsunes. They're young fox-like women who are cute, but they're deceptively cute because they're actually kick-ass. I think that's the lore. And there's some other shit in there. I don't know. There's like crazy video essays on YouTube about it.
Gosh,
if you have that attention span and you are that dedicated to the lore. There's also a manga or a comic book or a graphic novel.
There's a graphic novel, yeah.
Which I haven't read, but I have in my possession. But yeah, that's the lore is kind of, I think.
Yeah, no, the lore's always been kind of all over the place. But it adds to the vibe.
Hell yeah. When they start talking about the fox god during the breaks in between the songs, and they're like, the fox god gave the power to the sisters to fight the demon. And it's like, oh, they're gonna fight the demon, and they do this dance and this song, and it's like, oh, cool. Like, does it mean anything? No, not really. Yeah, that's all there is. It doesn't mean much of anything. But, you know, I choose to believe it, even though I don't even know what it is, kinda. I believe it.
Yeah.
Let me have a sip of my drink. Oh, I'm sorry if my gulping is like picking up on my microphone. Curse me and my good microphone. So yeah, what else is there for me to say?
I mean, I feel like I probably know your answer, but I do want to ask anyway, because I know it is a bit of a debate. Do you consider babymetal more idol or more metal?
Just a fuck. That's my answer, respectfully. No, you know, I think that it's a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
You know, it's not either or. It's a Venn diagram. And they're right in the beautiful middle.
Yeah.
I think they've been leaning. Actually, no. I do think that they lean more into the metal sphere. Like, there's just a lot of marketing, I would say, marketing practices in idol culture that are just not really being done by babymetal. Like, they're not subscribing to it. They don't do fan meets. They don't do meet and greets or fan calls. Like, they don't really go on variety shows. Like, they're starting now to do that a little bit more. And I mean, their radio show, which was kind of a podcast, was very new for them. But like, compared to other idols in K-pop and J-pop, where, you know, they're posting all the time and they're doing dance challenges, or they have maybe their personal Instagram accounts so you can follow your idols on what they're doing from day to day and what meals they're eating and when they're at the studio and yada yada yada. And babymetal doesn't do that. They're kind of just off floating in space in their own sphere. So, and I know myself and other fans wish that they would do more idol stuff because they want to enjoy babymetal as a part of the idol culture in a way that they don't really get to do compared to other groups.
Yeah.
What did you think the answer was?
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
I agree with your answer, honestly. Because I would say, yeah, they do like advertise themselves and promote themselves more as a metal group, but they still have the J-pop elements of the choreographies and the costumes.
Yeah.
I am mixed on whether or not I want them to have more of a presence, like do more like social media and stuff. Like, on the one hand, I do wish that we could get more content from them because, of course, like I'm a fan of idols. I like K-pop. And I like having that kind of more of a connection with the idols that I support. But at the same time, I kind of like that they have so much privacy. Like, we pretty much never hear about their daily lives. We don't really know anything about what they do outside of babymetal. So I feel like it must be a vibe. Be like really famous, but have so much privacy.
No, I completely agree. Like, I'm kind of bipolar in that. Like, I swing every other day between I'm so glad that they have their privacy and that, you know, we're not flooding all their comments on all their posts with stuff, and that they can just, you know, come on stage and perform on stage, and then they can just go back to what they would normally do, whatever that might be. I think that's cool because, you know, celebrity culture and idol culture can be very toxic.
Yeah.
And the less that we know, the better. And, you know, it's safer for them. And obviously, because they started so young, it was very important that safety be their number one priority, because the last thing fans want is to be supporting a band that abuses children or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a part of that. But it was very apparent that they were very well protected growing up, you know. And, you know, now as an adult, I'm like, well, I'm an adult and they're adults, and like, we can sort of loosen the reins a little bit, you know. I don't think that they need to, you know, I would love to see more, you know. I'm a fan, you know. I like knowing what they're thinking and what they're doing at every waking moment. No. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to, you know, be able to see more of the idol aspect, or even just, you know, if they, like, people want them to have personal accounts for social media. Which, to that I say yes, but also no, because the more you're perceived online and the more of yourself that you put out there, the more it kind of gets lost, you know, as people see it and reframe it and, you know, put their own perspective and opinions on that. And the way that it is right now, you just are kind of forced to focus on the music and the performance and not the parasocial aspect of it all.
I do,
but
like
also I'm a fan.
Yeah. I do like that they're a lot more relaxed, like they did at the podcast. Their interviews seem a lot more like relaxed, since I know back in the day their interviews were clearly like heavily scripted. And I like that they're more expressing themselves and sharing their thoughts and feelings during interviews.
Like liking cute girls, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know for a fact that it's still like interview questions before you're allowed to interview babymetal are vetted, right? So you can't just, be an influencer on the red carpet like, oh, what do you think about? Like, you can't do that, They have a whole team and a whole process that you have to go through. So it is filtered, right? I think that's fine, I think if they want to stick to an image and not be put into scenarios where babymetal is forced to, do something or say something that they don't want to say, like, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a counter argument. I'm kind of blanking right now. I like the way things are, but also I do wish for slightly more. I wish for like a slight loosening of the reins, but also I really, admire them for what they are and how they are doing it and how they're setting a standard for themselves where they're like, no, we're not gonna subscribe to that. We're not going to put ourselves through that. We have no obligation to do that. And so we're not gonna. And we're still doing just fine, even without doing all the TikTok dances and all that.
Yeah.
So go off, Queen. Don't dance for us. I mean, dance for us, but don't like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to bring up before we start wrapping up? Any other stories you might have about your experiences? Anything at all you wanted to talk about?
Ooh. I mean, I talked about the Regent Theater show. I talked about seeing them in St. Louis. I feel like I've shared all of my pretty good stories that I have to tell. I would just say, if you want to hear more about my opinions about babymetal, maybe follow me on Twitter. I mean, don't follow me on Twitter. Don't use Twitter. But if you're gonna, check me out on Twitter. My Twitter is at GLERN Emily. So I'd be posting on there on occasion. And definitely check out my YouTube channel. I've got a decent backlog of babymetal themed related content. So I like to do dance covers, and I also like to teach dance tutorials. Oh yeah, that's why I started my YouTube channel in the first place. Was I worked with kids actually, and I would show them babymetal because babymetal is kid friendly. I mean, obviously their new album has the explicit marker on it, which is very funny to me. But they're, for the most part, very kid friendly and kind of like a good gateway to metal. So I'm indoctrinating the kids, right?
Yeah.
But kids who were like, oh, what's the dance? Can you teach me the dance? And I was like, oh yeah, this is the dance. It's easy peasy. And I would teach it. And I was like, oh, well, there's nobody on YouTube or online who's doing this. So I can do that. So that's why I started my channel. And now I've sort of, diversified my content. So I've made dance tutorials and dance covers. I also, like I said, made a video trying to dance to an entire babymetal set list, which was killer. It's a good, funny watch. I made a video ranking all the babymetal choreography, which I talked about. There's some hot takes in there. And I've made my video talking about how Monochrome is a story about queer resilience. So if you're interested in queer theory, or you like being gay and or a babymetal fan, and you're not going to bully me for having a crush on another teenager when I was a teenager, go check that out. Yeah, and I've also made a vlog for when I saw babymetal at Intuit Dome. So that's also really fun, kind of nostalgic for me, obviously, and for some of the people who I met at the show. And I'm working right now on my vlog for my Japan trip.
Ah, that's going to be really fun. I'll
It's
definitely be on the
long.
lookout for that.
Yeah, it's very long, but I want to make sure that I, put in all the love that I can into that video because it's my version of having a photo album. So yeah, that'll be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and be on the lookout for that. And then also maybe other dance tutorials in the future. I just have these videos that I gotta finish doing first before I start getting distracted with other projects.
Oh my gosh, well thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast today. This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I loved yapping about babymetal, so I had a great time.
Alright, well I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.
Goodbye, have a good night. Bye-bye, chat. Nice talking to you.
Goodbye. Alright. Well, that is going to be that for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. This was so much fun. It's been a while since I just yapped about babymetal with someone, so this was very nice. You know, I've been a babymetal fan for a very long time. So they're very special to me. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you are following. You can also subscribe if you want to, only if you want to. My next stream is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. I'm gonna be doing some more Danganronpa with Mistrunner. And also, I think at 11 a.m. Yeah, at 11 a.m. Not on his channel, but like I mentioned before, on Great Man Gray and Yellow's Twitch, I'll be doing D&D. So, if you want to tune in for that, I'll be putting it in Discord and on Blue Sky and all the places. As usual. But D&D tomorrow, 11 a.m. EST. And then Danganronpa, 8 p.m. EST. And also, I will hopefully be putting up my schedule for the week tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. Oh my god, thank you! Thank you for following! Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. If you're watching me on Twitch, do not go anywhere because we will be raiding someone. Give me 1 second to see who is live right now. Oh, Vess is live right now. It's like, I feel like I know someone who's streaming. Yeah, Vess is currently live playing Marvel Rivals. Let's go say hello to Vess. Everyone hop into the raid, it will get you channel points. But yeah, once again, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.